to, as you said, negotiators.
Yeah.
They have to say things that I personally, as a human, feel like I don't have that control not to lie like that.
Yes.
Almost to gain the trust of just to make the outcome calmer or appease the outcome. Those are very strong people, and your dad's extremely strong to have acknowledged that.
Yeah.
Like, I need to speak to him this way just to diffuse the situation.
Yeah, my dad is brilliant. He's brilliant. And he convinced me, too, that even though we were surrounded by about 20 police officers, that all these police officers were going to just put their guns down and let my mom and dad, who are in their 60s or 70s, go up to this house by themselves, unarmed, and pick up the baby. But I was on board, so I was like, okay, Dad, that's the plan. I'll go to the hospital. You go get the baby, and then we'll meet back up at your house. And he said, oh, okay, get in the ambulance. And I got in the ambulance, and after it was said and done, and I read the final transcripts, what actually happened was the police went to my house, and they knocked on the door, and my ex-husband called my father back and said, you tricked me, you lied to me, there's a police officer at my door, I have a gun, it's loaded, and I will shoot every one of them before I open the door. And my dad said, they just want the baby, you can put her on the front porch, you can put her out the window, you can put her in the barn, they won't come near you. They just want you to put the baby outside. And he said, I will shoot every cop before I do that. And in saying those words, he could have had the baby killed, because at that moment when he said that word, the SWAT team was initiated. And
because he threatened the lives of those officers.
Correct.
And he's already tried to kill you.
Correct.
So he has a history.
Correct. So my dad, there was nothing he could do at that point. His heart was in his throat, thinking that the baby could get shot in some crossfire here. He didn't know if they were gonna, they had sharpshooters everywhere. They didn't know if they were gonna just take him out. But thank God he thought twice, and he came to the door with his hands on his head and got down on his knees, and they took him into custody. So the police allowed my father to go over to the cop car and speak to my ex-husband, and he said to him, the baby is still here in the house, and Jennifer will be returning to the house. Can you let me know where the gun is? Is it in a safe or in a place where the baby cannot get to it, where she can't reach it? And he refused to tell him. He said, good luck finding it. And that was the last time we saw him until we went to court. But I have a lot of gratitude for my life, that I survived, that the baby was completely unharmed. She's well. I am most grateful for the woman in the truck. I don't know her name. I don't know who she is. Like I said, if she comes across this or sees this, I would love to thank her personally, give her some kind of trophy. She's truly a lifesaver. Grateful for all the people that helped me afterwards. to get back on my feet. For those of you that are wondering, he is serving 15 years in prison. So he is getting his punishment. I do have lifetime injunction against him, so
What does that mean?
a lifetime injunction means that he can never come near me again for the rest of my life. He cannot come within 500 feet of me or my daughter for
Okay.
the rest of our lives.
That's good.
Yeah, I have 100% custody of her. The judge actually wrote on the injunction that if he were to encounter us and take the baby from me, that the police are allowed to use deadly force to
Shoot
get her
on sight.
back. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, just very, very grateful for my child, and we have our lives and we're together and living a good life, and we do get asked a lot of questions about it, and I don't mind talking about it, but one thing we were touching on a little bit is when people give their feedback, their comments about what I could have done or what I should have done differently, that gets a little irritating sometimes.
Yeah.
It is, and that's my hope that, and I think we were talking about this in a different episode too, women tearing each other down, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That is a tear down in a sense. Like,
Mhm.
what you did wasn't good enough, Jennifer.
Right.
You should have done this. No, I mean, in a moment like that, we react with our instincts, and we are animals as humans, you know? So I think your instincts were on point, and I think that woman from the truck, was it your guardian angel?
Oh, definitely.
I think your dad is your guardian angel, because all of that came together in a way that
Can't orchestrate
through
that.
the trauma, what I heard in your story was you had people supporting you then in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped you from having to make those immediate decisions, and they kind of came in to really just lift you up and support you and get your daughter back.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy to
I don't
me
need
is
your opinion.
I think, not that anyone's asking me, I think you did amazing. Like, I don't know if I could have done what you did.
Yeah.
You had the foresight to say, okay, I'm gonna have my camera phone or my phone, put it underneath the carrier. Who thinks of that? I mean, you weren't even thinking. This madman is streaming down the highway going, I don't know how fast.
120.
120. You crawl in the back seat and are going to risk your life for your child. Try to put like almost like a human shield and then put the phone underneath it. You weren't even thinking about yourself. To me, you're amazing. And even after this person, almost said a bad word, person pushes you out of the car and tries to have you commit suicide, which doesn't make any sense. How can you push someone out there to die suicide? You're still like, where's my child? I put the phone in there. Where is she? You're still trying to make sure your child's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What could you have done differently? I mean, what you did was amazing.
Thank you. His first interview, I got to read all the transcripts, and his first interview, he said that we were leaving a party and we were arguing in the car, so he pulled the car over on 275 so that we could step outside so the baby wouldn't hear us arguing. And I was so distraught that we were fighting, I jumped in front of a truck because I didn't want to live anymore. That was his story.
Oh, really?
And then he was confronted with the 911 tapes, and his story went out the window. Thank
That's
God
why I
for
love
cell phones.
technology.
But again, going back to some idiot that would say that I would have done it differently, you thought to put that, and you weren't even thinking, I'll need this in court.
No,
Because even when your dad was with you, you were just like, okay, I'm gonna go get my baby, we'll go sit down and talk. You weren't even thinking about leaving him.
no, I
Like
was.
that. You were still like, okay, we're gonna get this fixed up. It's gonna be fine.
I was thinking when I was talking to 911 and the car was slowing down, and you can hear me on the tape saying, "He's going to kill me now. You have to find the baby. You have to find her." And I thought I'd put it under there so they could track the phone.
Brilliant. Who thinks of that? That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who are these crazy
Same.
people saying, I'm sorry, I
You
should
guys
move
keep
on from
getting
that,
me.
but
I mean, I feel all your emotions. I'm trying to control it.
it,
Ah.
it doesn't make any sense. That's why I don't. They say that people that are like this, your ex-husband, that there's a chemical imbalance, or there's a mental imbalance, or there's something. To me, they made choices. You made a choice. I'm not going to blame someone who has a mental imbalance or something that's going on in their head. He made a choice. He made active choices to keep putting you in that situation, to keep putting his hands on you.
Yeah.
To me, you're not crazy. You're crazy for doing that. The crazy didn't make you do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I hate it when people say, oh, I'm going to plead insanity, or I watch these shows. I'm like, you weren't insane. You knew exactly what you were doing. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the first time he put you in danger or tried to hurt you.
Right.
It was a choice.
Right. And we weren't even fighting that night. He was upset because I had while we were at the party, I was putting gifts and carrying gifts out from the party and putting them in the car, and I put the keys in the trunk, and I shut it and I locked the keys in the car.
Okay.
And so I called AAA to come unlock the car, and so we just got stuck at the party a little bit longer than we had to. And then when we got in the car, so while we stayed at the party, he was fine. He was laughing and dancing and playing with the kids. And then as soon as we got in the car, the second we got on to the 275 road, he started driving faster and faster. And I looked over at him and I said, you're doing 90. And then he goes, oh yeah, now I'm doing 100. You want to see me go faster? And I said, the baby's in the car. And he said, I know the baby's in the car. And then he said, you ruined the whole night. You locked the keys in the car. How stupid can you be? And I had no idea he was even mad about it. And just escalated from there, bringing up everything I'd ever done wrong in my life. And then when I saw it go up to 120, that's when I undid my seatbelt and climbed into the back, because I have no idea what set him off so bad, because he was in a perfect mood when we left. He was in a good mood, and something just snapped when he got in that car. No idea what it was.
But I still don't believe in the insanity plea when they say, oh, he was insane. But
He
he's done
wasn't
it before.
He wasn't insane.
They make those choices. He made that choice.
Yeah. No, he had a good job. He held down a job. He went to work every day. He never hit his boss. He never hit any of his friends.
That's the thing.
Yeah. He knew how to behave in social settings. He didn't talk badly to anyone at the party. Didn't act that way in front of my family and my friends that night.
And your family and friends, they didn't know that you were being abused at home for... How long had this been going on before this happened in 2017?
We were together for 13 years. We were married for 4 years. It happened... It first happened when we first got together, back in like 2001, and I broke up with him right away.
Yeah.
And he did the honeymoon phase. Literally lasted about 7 years.
Okay, explain. So, in domestic violence, there's something called the honeymoon phase, which I did not know. Jennifer explained this to me.
Yes.
We talked about this before you came on the
Yes.
show. And please explain the honeymoon phase.
Yes. So there's calm phase, then there's the boiling point where they start to get angry. So yeah, for 7 years he would wait outside my job, have roses every day, swore to me it was an isolated incident. It was because he was drunk, that it would never happen again, never happen again. He convinced me, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that it would never happen again. And I believed him, and we got back together, got married. I got pregnant, and it was our 1 year anniversary, and the Patriots were playing, and I had made, football game. He was a Patriots fan, probably still is. And I had made us a nice dinner for our anniversary, and no, I wasn't pregnant, because I remember the baby was in her crib. She was like a newborn, and I thought everything was normal, and I just said, "Oh, dinner's ready, dinner's on the table," and I clicked off the TV. Huge mistake. I didn't know that wasn't allowed, and he got up off the couch and walked over to me, and I was by the front door, and I had the door open, but the screen door closed, and he was walking towards me, and he put his hands up like this, and I thought he was going to give me a hug, but instead he pushed me, and he pushed me through the door, through the screen door, breaking the door, and pushed me onto the front porch, and I fell on the porch, and I'd had a C-section, and I remember laying on the porch, and he came through the door, and I thought he was going to be like, "I'm so sorry, are you okay?" and help me up, but instead he held his fist up over me, and I remember holding my hands up, and I said, "I just had surgery, you're going to kill me, you're going to kill me," and he just said, don't you ever touch that remote again, don't you ever turn off a football game again. And I just said, I'm sorry, and then he went back inside, and he shut the door and locked it, and left me outside, and I slept in the car.
What?
Yeah, and because of where I worked, I'd rather not say, but
No, don't say.
I didn't feel I could go to anybody, and I didn't feel I could say anything. And then, of course, the next day, the honeymoon phase started over again with, "I'm so sorry, I can't believe I did that to you, I'll never do that again." I did call his parents.
Yeah.
And I told them what he did.
What did they say?
His mother said, "What did you do to make him so angry?"
Is she being abused by the father?
She was single at the time, but she was just not very bright.
I feel that speaks a lot to me, because she knew his anger.
Yes.
That is,
She
that's the
knew.
First thing you say.
Yes.
She knew his capability.
Yeah, she knew. She knew.
Yeah, I found out later on, after everything had happened and he was in jail. I asked her flat out, I said, "Did he ever put his hands on you?" And she said, "Yes."
Wait a minute. So she couldn't save herself, and she was unwilling to save you instead of... Oh, my goodness.
After he was in jail, she asked me multiple times to get back together with him, to support him, to speak to the judge, to see.
Oh, that is her baby.
No.
I could see I'm not going to lie. If my son did something terrible, I could see myself trying to better his life, because that's my mother instinct. Do I know it's not right? Yes, I know. But we always want the best for our children, no matter what their choices are.
Yeah.
I see why. Don't agree with it, but I'm not going to judge it.
I'm going to judge it. No. Just no.
You can judge me later because I don't know.
No,
My
we're not going to confess.
My daughter
judgment.
kills lizards.
It's a lizard. It's not a human.
I'm like, oh no.
We're not going to judge you. We're not going to confess it. We're not putting that out
She
there.
kills them though.
We're not putting that out there.
She's like, oh, I want to love you, squish.
But I understand loving your child and wanting to be there for your child, but that kind of thing, no.
Yeah.
Just no.
I never went to my parents though because I knew my dad would just kill him.
Yes.
Not kill him, but I knew
Yeah.
my dad would remove me
Yes.
from the situation
Yes.
immediately. And I didn't want that. I had a baby now. Like
Yeah.
I didn't have a baby until I was 39 years old. I didn't get married till I was 39 years old.
Yeah.
I wanted it to work so badly. And I just kept thinking, well, okay, I shouldn't have turned off the game, and it had been so long.
Yeah.
Like I just thought I awoken the beast. I did it. I kept blaming
Yeah.
myself.
But you were groomed.
Yeah.
It's that grooming phase, like they say, and people were sexually assaulted,
Yeah.
or children that are sexually assaulted for years. And the same thing with domestic violence. You were groomed
Yeah.
for a period of time. Oh, I'm so sorry, it won't happen again, and then it doesn't. And then it does it again. And then he stops. And he does it again. And he stops until eventually
Yeah.
you either leave or they kill you. There's no other option.
Yeah.
But that also, to me, speaks about your character, because I think you're amazing. You're kind, you're intelligent, you're smart, you're composed. In that moment, even though you as a intelligent woman was like, wow, I turned off the TV, that should not get the response it got, right? It just makes no sense. But you still had the compassion to say, okay, how do I prevent this from happening again? Because you wanted it to work, you know what I mean?
I did.
That speaks volumes. He was so lucky to have you, and I'm sad he didn't realize it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he never, to this day, he hasn't taken accountability.
He's never said he's sorry.
Never.
Like, truly repented
He's
of his
I
sin.
don't think he ever will.
No, I don't
No.
think he will either. I agree.
No,
Yeah.
no. And it just got worse after the anniversary thing because I did stay. It was, and that was my fault. That was my fault for staying, because I basically, when he did that night, me saying, oh, well, I shouldn't have turned off the TV, that was me telling him, oh, that's fine. I turn off the TV, you throw me through a door, that's okay. I'm still here. I'm still gonna get up and make your breakfast and fix your lunch for work, and then when you get home, dinner will be waiting and your clothes will be clean. And so I enabled him. I stayed. But on average, they say it takes a woman leaving, like, I think 9 times before she finally leaves for good.
Yeah.
I never left. And then I never had plans on leaving. And he had gotten violent with me a few more times after that, and I threatened.
Yeah.
I threatened to leave all the time, but I never meant it. I didn't want to break up my family.
Yeah.
Because I knew for a fact, an absolute fact, that if I divorced him, he would be alone with that baby every weekend, every other weekend. And I couldn't do that. There's no way I could get through a weekend knowing that he had her by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't violent towards her or mean towards her. He was negligent.
Oh.
He would do things like leave her on the couch before she was a crawler,
Oh.
where she could just roll over and fall off. I had, like, when I was working, even if he was home, I paid a babysitter.
Yeah.
He could not be, he wasn't capable of caring for her. Or if he was capable, he wouldn't let me know it because he didn't want to.
Right.
So,
I just saw something recently. They labeled that behavior where you purposely do something wrong so you don't have to do it again.
laziness.
That's not narcissism. That's not narcissism. I don't know what it is.
No, it's oh God, it will come to me. It was a very unique way of saying it. I'm like, oh, wow. But yeah, I hear your story about how he abused you in so many ways. It's not just the physical.
Yeah.
It's mental and emotional abuse that he put through you. Because you, as a mother, to have made a baby with your lifetime partner, to not be able to trust them, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And you sacrificed your safety and your happiness even for protecting your child.
Yeah.
So you're an angel.
No.
I'm sorry, you're gonna make me cry.
Oh, no.
I can't even look at you, Jennifer.
No.
And that's the thing.
Girl.
That's the thing. Like, I want to say normal relationships. If someone in a normal or non-abusive, let's say non-abusive relationship, will say, well, "Why didn't you leave?" And you could have stuck up for yourself, or you could have defended yourself, or you could have shot him in self-defense, or you could have gone to your dad, who's an attorney, and can help you leave. You don't know what you're going to do in those situations.
I would have been throwing the child into the fire.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Well, you could have gotten custody, full custody." You don't know that.
No.
You don't know how the law is going to work or the court system is going to work. And again, going back and trying to judge someone for their situation by your eyes or what you think is going to happen, you don't know. So stop. Just stop. You're not making it better for her, and you're not giving her good advice. Just stop.